Hi guys.
Hey everyone.
So today we're going to be talking about some childhood memories, funny childhood stories. We kind of want to laugh today.
We just want to share like past experiences. Maybe you could analyze it and figure out why we are the way we are today.
And if, I don't know, laugh along maybe. We just want to talk about our childhood.
You know what? Let's make this more inclusive.
Okay.
If you want, you don't have to. Maybe, leave a comment on our Instagram. A short little childhood story. Something small. Unless you want to make it long, I don't mind. But you want to start easy? Something with the... Because I really wanted to hear your earliest memory that you have.
Okay. My earliest memory, which is so weird because people have been asking me this recently. Like, I remember my art teacher asking me this and we had to draw it. And then my other friend just asked me about this. So I don't know. It's weird that everyone's asking me about this right now. But my first childhood memory is... I was like maybe 5 or 6 because they say that you only remember things after 5.
Oh, I thought it was 3.
No, it's 5.
I think I'm early developed.
It's just a memory with me and my mom when she was like cooking dinner, and we had like one of those huge countertops, like an L-shaped countertop. So I was sitting on top of the counter in like the middle of the L, you know what I'm saying, where it curves, and my mom is like cooking on the stove, and she's just cooking, whipping up a bomb-ass meal as per usual. And my mom, every time she cooks, she listens to music and like she dances and stuff, and I love singing as a kid. But my mom was listening to Mariah Carey, specifically the song Get Your Number. It's off her Emancipation of Mimi album, I believe. So in the song, first of all, the song slaps, right? It's just so amazing. But there's like a little part where she kind of does not like a rap, but she sings really fast. And I remember whenever I would listen to that song with my mom, I would try so hard to like learn that fast part. And I was like so young. And like in the song, she's like talking about like, I have a house in Capri and my own G phone with the Benz with the doors that lift up from the floor. Like she's talking about like all this shit that she owns. And I remember being so young, like trying to remember like, okay, she has a Benz with the doors that lift up from the floor. Like I need to remember this. And I just remember like, sitting on the counter, my mom is cooking and we're dancing and I'm like singing and I'm trying to learn the song, and it's just my first memory was like singing Get Your Number by Mariah Carey while my mom's dancing and cooking in the kitchen, and it's just good vibes.
That's so like particular.
It's very specific. Like it's just like that song I remember just hearing it when she was cooking.
Now I'm like, did I imagine this? Because you're saying like it's like 5. But I was 3 at the time. And I know because I've moved so much in my life. When I lived in this apartment, I was like 3.
Oh.
I was like from birth to like 3 or something.
Maybe you're just like big brained or something.
Dude, maybe.
Her head right now, I don't know if you guys can hear it, but it's going dum 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 dum.
Just my headache. Okay, so there was this like, I just remember, and I like this memory came to me again not too long ago, and then I like looked into it because I wanted to know what it was. But there was this like thing, and it's like actually a candy. It's like a little cylinder, and it has like a stick. It kind of looks like a linter. Imagine like a linter, but smaller. You know what a linter is? The body roller linter thing that takes
a lint roller.
Anyways, so I remember it was just like randomly somewhere, and I saw it, and I was like, "Oh, what's that?" And then I was like playing with it. And then I left, and I don't know if it was, like, another day or if it was, like, the same day, but I came back, and it was in the same spot, and I was playing with it, and I knew where it was, and I knew where to find it when I wanted to play with it. And then I came back either one day or a couple hours later, I don't know, and it was gone, and I was really freaking sad.
Oh.
That's my memory. That's my first memory.
No way.
Sad.
Really?
Dude, yeah. And I looked it up.
That's
because
so,
because I thought, like... I was like, did I imagine this?
Yeah.
Like, is it possible, like, I made this memory? But, like, why would I do that? It's so weird. Because, our brains do that sometimes. And I looked it up. I don't remember what I looked up, but I found it.
A lint roller?
No. No. It's called Paint Shop Lollipops. It's a candy, and it's, like, a little cylinder, and it has this paint thing.
Oh, my God.
And I remember it looked just like this. Because when I thought about this memory...
Yeah.
I saw like the paint thing. I say lint roller to like help,
Yeah.
Because dude, I've never seen this again in my life.
Oh.
That's why I'm like convinced like this happened. I've never seen this in my life.
So you weren't really playing with a lint roller. You were playing with a candy that looks like a lint roller.
Yeah.
Oh.
I was explaining so you can get a picture of like the shape and stuff.
Oh. That's so specific.
That's why I'm like so convinced.
You're like, oh, that it's not specific.
No,
That's
because yours was like so detailed.
Because I was older.
Dude,
I think.
Isn't that crazy?
That is so weird.
Like that's why I'm like, it has to be that like this actually happened.
Yeah. This story I don't remember that much. I don't remember seeing it, but I remember crying a lot. My dad told me this story. I love my dad. So basically we went to Chuck E. Cheese once. And I loved Chuck E. Cheese when I was little. I loved playing those games. Something about getting tickets. I just freaking love it. Do you know what I'm saying? Like that feeling of getting the tickets and just being like, hell yeah. And then you're just like,
you know, when you put them in to count them?
Yeah, I love that.
Whoa! Oh my god.
That's what it sounds like.
Did you record that for them?
That's what it sounds like. Anyway. So I remember every time I would go to Chuck E. Cheese. So I love Chuck E. Cheese. I would go to Chuck E. Cheese with my dad all the time, and we would always play a lot. I just remember always leaving Chuck E. Cheese with like a shitload of tickets, and I'm like, I didn't win all these. So I feel like my dad put in a lot of work to win tickets, because I would always come out with like stacks.
He used you to get in.
Yeah.
He just wanted to play the game.
He just loved Chuck E. Cheese. But I think I was pretty young. I was like 4 maybe. But basically, you know, like in the middle of like the day, Chucky comes out, like the mouse costume comes out, and he comes out into like the little gaming area, and like he gives them free tickets or like little tokens and stuff, you know, and he just meets them. I just remember like whenever I would see Chucky, or I think they would like announce when he's coming, and I just remember getting so scared, like so nervous whenever I would hear like he's coming out or whatever. And then my dad would just always like be next to me and be like, oh, it's okay, whatever. And I think this is where my fear of like big animal suit costumes, like mascot costumes, started.
So furries.
Yeah. I'm not like terrified, but I do feel a little like weird about it, and I think this is where it started. Okay, so Chucky's coming out, and I'm playing this game with my dad, and he's like coming closer to where I was, like he's coming to my section, and all these kids are like screaming, like wanting to meet him and like getting all these tickets from him and tokens. And I remember just being so terrified of him. Like it's just like a big gray mouse suit, you know, and it's just freaking creepy.
And the older Chucky, because there's like a new remodeled.
The older one,
lot scarier.
Yeah, the older one is freaky. So like I just remember like getting really nervous, and like I didn't want to like get closer to him, but he was like coming to my section where all the kids were. So then my dad started carrying me, because like I was scared, you know. So he's like carrying me, and he's like, oh, it's okay, like it's just a costume, whatever. But I was like getting super like nervous, you know. And then I just remember Chucky like coming towards me even more, right? And like this time I'm like crying, like I'm not just like nervous, I'm like actually crying. And my dad's like, don't cry, you know. And like, you know, when fucking some adults do this, but you know, like when a kid is crying, they think that it would be nice to like come up to them and like try to make them stop crying, but it makes it worse, you know. So that's what Chucky started doing to me. He noticed me crying. Because, like, when you see a whole bunch of group of kids, like, love you and screaming, you're going to notice the one kid that's, like, crying, you know? So I'm, like, crying in my dad's arms, like, hiding my face, like, getting so nervous. And, like, Chucky comes, like, towards me, like, directly. Like, not just, like, to the section. Like, he's, like, coming towards me. And he's, like, trying...
He's like, beelines at her, like, 5 miles per hour.
He fucking straight shoots at me. And, like, he's kind of doing, like, a little dance, like, trying to make me fucking laugh. But that terrifies me. Like, that kicks it into, like, overdrive. I'm, like, sobbing. Because he's just, like, so close to me. Yeah. And he's, like, literally, like, so close to me and my dad, like, trying to make me laugh. And my dad's like, hey, man, like, she's crying. Can you, like, stop? You know, like, she's scared, you know? And, like, my dad would, like, try to, like, you know, walk the fuck away. But, like, Chucky was very persistent, and he still wanted to make me laugh, so he kept getting closer to me. And meanwhile, I'm like sobbing, and my dad's like, dude, like, can you back off? Like, she's fucking crying. And like my dad started getting mad, okay, because like now he's making me cry even more. And he doesn't take the message. I wish he took the hint. I wish he just left, because he kept coming closer. And then my dad had enough, and he just punched him in the face. But he punched him so hard, his mascot mask flew all the way around his head and wound up backwards in front of all of these kids. And I don't remember anything. I just remember my dad punching Chuck E. Cheese so hard that his whole ass head swiveled backwards. Because he wouldn't leave me alone.
All of those kids are in jail now. They're so messed up.
I don't know who, now looking at it, I'm probably thinking like just some random dude was Chucky, you know? But I think, you know, don't bother people's kids, because then their dad might just punch you in the face.
Okay, my memory that I really wanted to talk about, it's one of my favorite memories, and it's with my sister. 'Cause I love my sister. Alani, you're not listening, but I love you so much. So me and my sister would brawl, you know, like violent fight. So as we got older, this story takes place, I was either in 6th or 7th grade. I was in middle school. So we weren't like fighting, like fist fighting, scratching each other, like punching anymore, but we were still like slapping each other and like messing around and like trying to hurt the other one, trying to like really just pick on the other one and get like the other one annoyed. We had a bunk bed. I shared a room with my sister until I was like 14. I always slept at the bottom because I move in my sleep, and I've fallen off the top before in my sleep, so that's why I had to have the bottom bunk. It's a lot safer. I'm gonna paint the picture.
Okay.
I'm laying down. I had my mom's iPad playing Cooking Mama.
Oh, I love that game.
It's so fun. My uncle was in our room because he was always hanging out with us. And I don't know what he was doing, but he was sitting on a chair doing his own thing. She's at the top bunk doing her own thing. And she's hanging over the top. So, like, there, you know how there's, like, the bar so you don't, like, fall over? That was removed. I don't know why. I forgot. But it was removed. But it was fine because she doesn't move in her sleep, so she wouldn't roll over. That was removed. She's hanging over the top, trying to, like, smack me from the top. And I'm like, dude, leave me alone. Like, I'm playing Cooking Mama, like, fuck off. And she can't reach me. And then she's ever so, like touching me because she's, like, just barely getting to me. I'm like, bro, fuck off. I think I swung at her. She got, like, taken aback. She flipped over the top of the bed. She landed on her ass. And I'm sitting there, and it happened so fast. In the corner of my eye, I see the flipping action. All I know is that I'm sitting there. She's on the floor. And once she's on the floor, I sink in. And I'm like, what just happened? And my uncle jumps off the chair, and he's like, Alani, are you okay? He's panicking. I'm like, what just happened? Because I think he thought she hit her head. Oh. So I get off the bed, and I'm like, I start giggling. And my uncle looks at me, and he starts shaking his head, but he's smirking. And my sister, she's like, Mommy's gonna kill me. Dude, the bunk bed was snapped in half. And we had this bunk bed since I was like 5. Oh my God. We had it for like our whole life. And then after she got over that, we started laughing. Like, dude, we're screwed. So then we're like, oh, big brain. We pushed it back together. Yeah. We had this color. She was obsessed with duct tape and different colorful duct tapes. We had a pink zebra print one and like a polka dot one. We taped the bed back together with the pink duct tape all over. We covered it with a blanket, and we didn't tell her mom. And it stayed like that, and we slept on that bed every day for months, which is so dangerous. Because every once in a while we noticed that it was sinking again. Dude, the whole thing would have collapsed and killed me. So we'd push it back together and like retape it, like reinforce. And one day I was like passing through my mom's room because her closet was like used as a computer room because it was like big. And she's like, Angie, I want to talk to you. I'm like, what's up? What's up, Mom? She's like, this is like 4 or 5 months later. She's like, what happened to your bed? And I lost it. At this point, I wasn't even scared anymore. I was like, we got away with it for 5 months. That's pretty good. Okay. And she didn't seem angry. So I started laughing so hard. And I told her what happened. And she was laughing so hard. She thought it was so funny. But we were due for a new bed. It was a wooden bed we'd had for our whole lives. Yeah. We were due for a new freaking like bunk bed. So yeah, that was really funny. And that's like my favorite memory with my sister. Just like that's share that shared funny. Panic. Like we have to stick together and like fix this. Yeah. And then we got away with it for so long.
That's impressive.
I know.
Okay, I have a story.
Okay.
Should I tell the bracelet one or the Hannah Montana one?
Bracelet.
Okay, so I was in like 1st grade. Okay. And do you know like when you would go get perfumes and like they would give you like a complimentary bag, like a tote bag, you know what I'm saying? Like you would buy like
Yeah.
a perfume and they give you something like free. So my grandma bought 2 perfumes and they gave her like a free tote bag and like a free bracelet. Okay. And she gave me both bracelets. And she's like, oh, like you have a bracelet and then you give it to whoever you want the other one. And I was like, sweet, like free bracelet. Like I thought it was so cute. Like it was like a charm bracelet. It was really pretty. And I remember I had this friend in 1st grade. Her name was Brianna. And I was like, hey, like I have a gift for you. Like it could be our friendship bracelet, you know? And I gave her the bracelet and she was like, oh, thank you. So she wore it like the whole day. And I was so happy because like I thought it was cute, you know? And then something happened. I don't know what she did, but I just remember we started fighting in 1st grade. Like I just didn't want to be her friend anymore. The same day I gave her bracelet, we started fighting about something. And we were at recess and I was like, you know what, I don't want to be your friend anymore, give me back my bracelet. Like we're not friends, that was a friendship bracelet, give it back. And she's like, no, like you gave it to me, it's my bracelet. And I'm like, no, give it back because we're not friends. And she wouldn't give me back the bracelet. And I just remember being so mad because I gave her the bracelet that day and then she betrays me. I don't know. We were like fighting over something dumb. And now she wouldn't give it back, you know? And I'm like, give me back my bracelet. We're no longer friends. And she started like making fun of me, like, haha, you're not getting your bracelet back. And I'm like, bitch, yes, I am. Okay, I'm going to get that bracelet back. We were at recess.
What? You like kick her ass?
No, wait, no, this is like a super smooth move I did. So like we're at recess fighting over the bracelet. So I'm like hanging out with other friends. She's hanging out with hers. And I remember she was going to go down a slide and I was like, I'm getting my fucking bracelet back. Like this is it. Like I'm going to wait for her to come down the slide because like, you know, like the jungle gyms like in the playground, like you're so high up and then I'm like, I'm not gonna go all the way up there just so she could slide down as an escape. I'm gonna be there at the end, you know? I'll catch her.
You have your arm out so she could like hit her neck.
No. So she comes down at the side and I'm like, give me back my bracelet. And she's like, no. I grab her stomach and I twist it.
Like a nurple, like a purple nurple on her stomach.
But like with the side of her stomach, I took a big piece of her and I twisted it. I'm like, give it back. And she's like crying and crying. She gives it back to me crying. And I'm like, yeah, I told you I was going to get my bracelet back. Like you should have given it back to me. And then this bitch told the teacher on me. And do you remember in like 1st grade when they would have like the card? Like the colored cards. Dude, let me tell you, I was green forever.
Same.
I was like star student green always, okay? She told the teacher the whole story about how I twisted her stomach and she's crying and whatever. And I got switched to red for the rest of the week. Dude, the worst. I know.
Dude, I've never had a red.
And I started crying because I'm like, no, I'm the best person in this class and now you just ruined my reputation. Like I was so mad.
SpongeBob in that one episode when he gets the good noodle star.
Dude, that's how I felt. I felt like, dude, my reputation was tarnished. Like I was the best student for like the longest time.
Yeah.
And then she just wouldn't give me back my bracelet, so I had to do something. It's, you know, like, I mean, I shouldn't have been violent, but like she was trying to, you know. So
Dude,
anyway,
you wanted it and you got it.
You know, I told her, I'm like, dude, I'm getting it. She's like, no, you're not.
Okay.
Tell that to your freaking bruised stomach.
She has a scar. It's like permanently stuck and twisted out.
And then anyway, I was crying and crying, and then my teacher called my mom, and she told my mom the whole story, and then that was that. I just remember that, and I'm not like a violent person, but in that moment I was.
And then she became violent with words when she said that girl's family smells like shit.
That's called growth.
Should I tell the story that you wanted to hear?
Please.
Okay, good. Viviana knows the story.
I love this
I don't even know how. This came out of nowhere when I told you. I think we were in the car.
Yeah.
Again, about my sister. We fought a lot. Growing up, my sister was always like bigger than me. She was like, but taller. She was always like a lot taller than me. Like, and we're a year and a half apart, but our height difference was crazy. So she would give me wedgies all the time. Like the classic cartoonish, pick you up by your underwear, feet dangling. The classic wedgie. And it was so annoying. It hurt so bad. And I really get it now in the movies, why it's so like dramatic. Because this shit hurts, you know? It's so embarrassing. I don't know where she got that strength from because... You know, I wasn't that much smaller than her, kind of, but like, whatever. So one day, I guess I was wearing a pair of underwear that was like on its last limbs, had seen enough of the dark days of her tormenting me. So she picks me up like usual by my underwear. My feet were dangling. I was screaming because that shit hurts so bad. And then I fell to the floor. And not because she let go of me. It's because, no, I look up and it just ripped off. And she felt so bad. And it was so dramatic. She's like, oh shit.
I've never received a wedgie.
Dude, it hurts. It's so bad.
In conclusion, Angie's sister ripped her underwear off of her because she gave her a really hard wedgie.
I hope you guys
couldn't understand us because we're laughing.
I hope you guys can understand these stories and like really enjoy them with us.
But we just keep laughing because it's so funny.
I can't not laugh. It's so my cheeks hurt so bad.
Me too. Want to hear how I stole my grandma's credit card?
Oh my, dude, you're bad.
Why? What?
You stole her credit card.
Oh, can I explain why I stole my grandma's credit card? Okay, so I was older. I wasn't, because I think all my stories so far have been like when I was like 5 or something. Mm-hmm. But I was older. It was when Hannah Montana came out. So whenever that came out, I was that age. And it was when Hannah Montana was becoming Miley, like when they did that dual CD where it was like Hannah Montana on one side and then Miley on the other. I loved Hannah Montana, but I wasn't allowed to like her. Well, my grandma didn't want me to like her because she was like wearing makeup and stuff, you know. But I would still watch her. And I remember Miley Cyrus / Hannah Montana at the time released a website called Miley World. And it was like this really cool thing, like all these games and like chat rooms. And it was just like a Miley Cyrus fan website. And you would like, you could either just sign up for free or you can pay for a subscription and you get like all these cool goodies, right?
Kind of goodies.
Like the little freaking ID, the Hannah Montana ID that had Hannah Montana on it.
Like a real life one or like a virtual? Oh, cool.
A real ID. It was like a subscription box.
No wonder you stole the credit card.
Yeah, and it came with like CDs and like just really cool like Hannah Montana and Miley Cyrus merch, right? So I freaking wanted it. I really wanted it so badly. So I went to the family computer and I went on Miley World and I was like looking at all the things that you can buy and I wanted like the biggest box that like had everything. It was like over $50. And I was like, oh, I really want this. And it like got to the part where it was like, put in your credit card information. Mm-hmm. I was like, man, I don't have a credit card. So my grandma was sleeping at the time because she was taking a nap. And I went into her room and I was like, grandma, like trying to wake her up. She's like, yeah. I was like, can I borrow your credit card? And she was still half asleep. So she kind of just went like, yeah, like to leave me alone. You know what I'm saying? So I took that as
green light.
I was like, yeah, green light. Okay, so she's down for the cause. So I took her credit card and I paid for it, right? Easy peasy, put in the information. I was smart, you know? Put her credit card back. I didn't tell anyone because I knew that was bad, okay? Until one day when my subscription box came before I came home from school.
Oh, man.
My family was like, where did you get this from? And I was like, Miley World. Duh.
Haven't heard of it?
And I was so excited. I was like opening the box and my grandma was like, how did you like get this, you know? And then I didn't want to tell her that I used her credit card. And then she was so confused. And my mom was like, I didn't buy it. She didn't buy it. So they both looked at their credit card statements and it said like $50+ from Miley World. Like, you know, I just remember my grandma being really, really mad at me and my mom like wanting to punish me by like taking away the subscription box. Like, oh, you don't deserve it because you didn't ask, you know? And they made this whole thing like, if you would have just asked, we would have given it to you. But now, since you did it behind our backs, you don't get anything. And I was so mad. I was like, give me my fucking Miley World box, you know? And I was just like throwing a fit. And my grandma wound up making my mom tell me to keep the box. So I kept the box and all the goodies. My grandma and my mom were just mad at me for a little bit. I still had like the subscription for a year, so. But anyway, that's the story about how I stole my grandma's credit card. I guess when I was a child, I was kind of like.
Rotten egg.
Not a rotten egg. Like a spoiled egg. Not rotten. That's harsh.
I have one little one. So when I was little, we would like pick out little books from, I forgot. It was like little, like first, second grade type stuff. We had to pick out a book and then have like a family member help read it. So whatever grade you're like kind of learning how to read, it's that grade. Oh,
yeah.
So I picked a book. It was called I don't know, Chip or something. And it's about basically like the premise of the story. This dude's dog goes missing. He's like, have you seen my dog? His name is Chip, the dog with the yip yip bark. That's how the story goes. And it's like him repeating the same line to like all these different people, like, haven't seen him. Next person. And so I had my parents read. I think I had my dad. This is when I lived with my dad. I think I had him help me read it. And he could not stop laughing at the book. Because what dog goes, yip, yip? What dog have you ever met that goes, yip, yip? Like, what? He thought that was so funny. And I'm like, dude, can we, like, compose ourselves? Like, I need to fucking get this book read. I don't know how to read. Can you please help? And he was, like, told my mom. And he's reading the book to my mom. She's laughing. They're telling the whole family. Everyone's just clowning. I'm sitting there, homework not done. No one's helping me read this book. I was so pissed. Man.
Can I tell you another story?
Yeah.
Because you just reminded me. We had like this chapter book we had to read in school. You know, like when they would give you all a chapter book. Mm-hmm. I remember I was reading it at the kitchen table, right? And I was like really paying attention. I was in this book, man. And my grandpa accidentally spilled coffee all over it. And I was like, damn it. Like it just soaked the whole book. And my grandpa was like, don't worry, just put it in the microwave.
What the hell? So it could catch fire?
No, he's like, put it in the microwave for like 20 seconds so it'll dry. And I was like, okay, because I was young, you know? I put it in the microwave and the glue from the spine melted. Every page fell out. And I took the book to my grandpa. I'm like, what the fuck? You made it work.
He's like, haha, I knew that would happen, stupid.
So now my book has all these coffee stains and it's just glue is everywhere and every page is like off of the spine. So I was really, really nervous because it was like a borrowed book, you know, like yeah. So I was like getting scared. And I remember my grandpa spent like the rest of the day gluing everything back together for me, like with super glue. Like he glued every fucking page and it looked messed up. But it was okay. Like I told my teacher, like coffee spilled on it, and she was okay with it, cause you couldn't tell. Like once he glued everything back, you can just see the stains. And I remembered that just now. He was like, put it in the microwave.
She's like, why are the pages melted together? That's yeah. So funny. That's so dangerous too.
I know. He's like, just for like 20 seconds, it'll be cool. I'm like, all right, bet.
I wonder how many times he had to put
the
old book in the microwave.
But yeah. Childhood, man.
Dude.
Gotta love it.
It's crazy. If you have any fun stories,
share them.
Dude, just share them.
All right. Thanks for listening.
Bye.